Hey, this is Derek Demore with Futures Demore and Futures Networks Live. Today we're going to be talking about what I call Daily Candlestick Trading 101. And the reason why I'm calling it that is that candlesticks, whether it's a daily, we happen to be on the daily candle on the MES, whether it's a daily candlestick or a 5 minute or a 5 second, they all have certain patterns that they follow during the period that each candlestick is being made. Just like Elliott wave talks about the five, the process of these five waves or five numbers that follow the waves, candlesticks are very similar. So what we're going to hopefully help you look at is a way to show the extremes like Anton Creel talks about and get in when we're at a spot that looks like it's going to be a turnaround on the daily, or possibly when it's hit the top of a channel and it's peaking, and maybe that's the time to sell to get out of a trade if you've been in a long, or vice versa, get in for a short. So let's start and see if we can help your trading become a lot better on a macro scale. So big picture, we just wanted to look at, okay, the all-time high is up here at 39.59. This is a few days ago. And I just wanted to go over what I was looking at and kind of the videos that I was preparing and sharing with people as to how to trade it. Now, we just had a couple 3 down days. We surpassed the 50 period EMA right here. We were pierced and closed below the Bollinger Bands, the 2 sigma Bollinger. We touched the 89 period EMA exactly. We use 89 versus 90 because it's a Fibonacci number. And we kicked over, and then we ended the day back not only above the 2 sigma, but right at the pivot point on the dailies and right below the 21 period EMA. So that gives us some context. The 200 period is way down here, basically 3,500 on this day. So what I wanted to look at is, okay, we've got 2 candlesticks. We can develop a channel. We usually want 3. We know the next channel is going to be right where this line, this vertical line on the 5s and the 1, it's going to be right in that area. So ideally, we would want to get in right about 37.89 or 37.90. Well, that's a long ways down, right? It's going to kick over. We don't know if it's going to gap up or gap down. But if we waited all day and hopefully it would come back to us, well, we could trade short down to this, 37.90 area. But that's a whole nother topic. What I was going to say is, if it does come down to this area, that's where you want to get in to go long and take it to go to the other side of the channel. And what's really interesting is on the full candlestick, right? Here's the Fibonacci's on the full candlestick. Okay, a 50% pullback is 37.88, which is ironically right about where we want to get in, maybe 37.90. So we're only looking for a 50% pullback on the full candlestick. Now, one of the things that we could do is actually look at the solid part of the candlestick and see where we're going to pull back on that. That looks to be about a 618, maybe a 707 pullback. So let's see what happened. But this is the whole idea, is to set up a typical candlestick that's going with the trend and finishes up near the top, or a third up near the top, kicks over. If it doesn't gap one way or the other, then it usually goes down to about 50% of the full candlestick, or a 382 of the full candlestick. Okay, so let's see what happens. So let's see, we'll drag it right here. Boom. So it came down right to 37.95. So it gave the 10% off on the trend. Now, if you were watching at that point, we see that it kicked over, right? It actually kicked up, right? And then so it gapped up in a way. Normally, if it gaps up and then goes to the top, eventually it comes down then. So that's a whole nother candlestick method. And what we're going to talk about going forward is that if the candle that's going in the direction, in this case going up, if it gaps up and trades up first, then it usually hits the top of the channel, turns around, and ends up on the bottom or near the bottom. So we still could have, whenever this hit down near the trend, if you looked at the 5-minute or shorter term channel, we could have gotten a turnaround signal. And then that would have been a great spot to say, hey, I could go in at 37.96 or 95, and maybe also have a limit order at 87, 88. And that would pretty much be the bottom of the day. So now we can go forward and see what the next day would show. All right, so now I have it set up where we put the Fibonacci's on this daily candlestick, and we're going to look for the entry. And we had talked about this when I did one of my morning videos, that a really good spot to get in. We know that the next candle is going to be right in this vertical line area, give or take. We don't know until it actually appears. But if it is right about on this vertical axis, then 38.20, 38.21, 38.22, somewhere in there would be a great entry. That also is about a 707, maybe on the Fibonacci pullback. So maybe this only comes to a 618. All right. But still, we're setting up to say, where are we going to get? It's going to kick over, right? And it might gap up and then come down, but we want to be in somewhere around 38.20 to 38.23. So let's kind of see what happens here when we drag it. Okay, so it came down to 38.25 and the pivot point. So it did gap up and then pulled back a little bit. So, or 38.23, if we set it, we wouldn't have gotten in, but it basically almost came down to the channel line. So we've got a great opportunity to get in right here, anywhere between the 10% and the actual trend line. And then look, you get in down at here, 38.25, and it takes you all the way up to almost 3,900. That's, it's not a rocket scientist to put that on, let it sit and let it go. And you can make really good money that way. Really good points. So one more time, we could have sold at the top of the channel to take it back short. If you sold and got in at 3,900-ish, could have taken it back down to 37.83, 38.73, dyslexia. So again, the next daily candlestick is going to be somewhere in this area, and it comes down. We want to be in somewhere between 38.54 and 38.62. Now we know 38.62.50 was an old all-time high, so that number has stuck in my memory. So I wouldn't mind getting in somewhere there and then maybe putting a limit order at 54. So going with half your contracts. You can see that our perfect entry, or a platinum entry, is a 618 again on the full candlestick. So not a bad spot to get in. Let's see what happens. Whoops, too much. And we come down to, wow, 38.56, 57, which is right where we wanted to be. Now we would have gotten in at maybe 62. And then our limit order at 54 may not have gotten in, but look, the rest of the day, it goes up to 39.14. So that's, 60 points. You're going to be happy with 60 points or 55 points. I think so. Anyway, daily candlestick trading. I'm going to hopefully put more videos. Give a thumbs up if you like these type of videos and if they help your trading. You can use this type of channel trading with any time frame. It works. You just have to do it a lot, practice it, and become better. So thanks for being a part of Futures Networks Live. Happy to have you. Happy to be helping you learn to become a more profitable trader. Take care.